Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something really special right now, actual on-the-ground data from the UTAIKO class feedback survey. If you've ever wondered about the intersection of arts, culture, and community wellness, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to unpack exactly what happens when people step up to the drum. Let's get into it.
It really begs this fascinating question, right? What actually happens when you bring a thundering Japanese drumming tradition to rural Utah? Just think about it for a second. Sanpete County is known for its quiet, isolated, and absolutely beautiful rural landscapes. But taiko drumming? It's loud, it's incredibly dynamic, and it demands intense physical energy. It is a massive contrast. Yet, as we're about to see from these survey results, this bold cultural introduction has sparked something genuinely profound in the local area.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap through the survey results today. First, our community feedback snapshot. Then, quality instruction for beginners. Number 3, transformative physical health benefits. 4, mental well-being and connection. And finally, number 5, the true value of taiko.
All right, starting off with Section 1, our community feedback snapshot.
Before we get into the personal stories, we need to look at how students are actually discovering this unique group in the first place. And the clear majority here, 60%, are drawn in by community events. Honestly, there is just no substitute for the visceral, earth-shaking energy of a live taiko performance right there in the local park. It captivates people immediately. Following that, 30% come in through word of mouth. So that tells us students are having such an incredible time that they're actively recruiting their friends and family to come join them.
And this brilliantly illustrates the success of the dojo environment. When students were asked to rate the general sense of community within their classes, the average score was a flawless 5 out of 5. Literally every single respondent gave top marks to the welcoming, friendly, and supportive atmosphere. You know, in a world where it can be pretty tough to find genuine connection, a perfect score like this is truly remarkable.
Moving right along to Section 2, Quality Instruction for Beginners.
Okay, approaching a massive drum with a pair of thick wooden baochi or drumsticks can be incredibly intimidating, especially if you have zero musical background. But looking at the qualitative responses, we see a really clear pattern in how the instructor, Raz, handles this. Students consistently highlighted that the instruction is exceptionally patient and deeply supportive. Plus, the teacher has this creative ability to break down really difficult, complex musical concepts into bite-sized, manageable pieces. But honestly, perhaps the most important trait mentioned is the ability to just keep the atmosphere fun and light.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it captures a profound emotional transformation. This quote says it all. Even though I had never played any kind of drum before and was so scared, I jumped in and am so happy I did. It perfectly encapsulates the journey of an absolute beginner, moving from genuine fear and intimidation to this overwhelming sense of joy and accomplishment, all thanks to that supportive environment we were just talking about.
Another student expanded on this dynamic in her survey response. She wrote, "He keeps class fun and light, and you forget that you are learning complex beats. And that is the hallmark of great instruction, isn't it? The welcoming, playful environment of the dojo essentially masks the high level of cognitive and physical complexity required to play taiko. The learning process feels so natural and enjoyable that the students don't even realize how hard their brains and bodies are actually working."
Up next is Section 3, transformative physical health benefits.
So, the crucial point here is elevating the narrative from a simple music class to a powerful wellness program. One of the most surprising findings was the impact taiko has on physical well-being. According to foundational research, group drumming actually provides clinical benefits. It literally has the power to shift the nervous system away from a stressed, inflammatory state, which, let's be honest, is where a lot of us live our daily lives, and move it into a balanced, anti-inflammatory state. It's basically rhythmic, active stress relief.
But it's not just about stress relief, right? It's a serious workout. Taiko requires full-body movement. It builds real muscular strength, cardiovascular stamina, and fine-tuned coordination. However, what really makes the UTAIKO program stand out is the intense focus on efficient body mechanics. Students aren't just in there flailing around, they are taught exactly how to align their joints and use their core, which ensures they can enjoy the physical rigors of the practice safely for years and years to come.
And we can anchor that scientific data with some incredibly powerful, deeply personal anecdotes from the survey itself. Check this out. One student shared this specific detail. "Taiko has helped me heal physically from a frozen shoulder and exercise to lose weight. This isn't just theoretical stuff. This is real-world physical healing and rehabilitation happening right there in the dojo as a direct result of mindful rhythmic movement.
Which brings us to Section 4, mental well-being and connection.
As we all know, physical health is intimately connected to how we feel inside. One student elaborated on this mental impact, writing that Taiko helped overcome some depression and breaking me out of some social anxiety by providing a safe place for me to let my soul play. Now that is profound. The dojo is acting as a vital refuge. Against the backdrop of rural isolation, it offers a secure, expressive outlet for those battling unseen mental health struggles.
Let's move along and see how this builds into the weekly rhythm of the students' lives. Another respondent perfectly captured this sentiment, saying, "Many weeks I feel tired and unmotivated, but I still go to Taiko because I always leave feeling completely uplifted and renewed." The classes serve as this consistent, dependable, weekly battery recharge for the soul. Even when that motivation just isn't there, the community and the drum provide the exact lift they need.
Finally, Section 5, the true value of Taiko.
Okay, so when a program provides physical rehabilitation, mental rejuvenation, and a flawless sense of belonging, how do you even begin to measure its worth? Well, the survey presented a really fascinating contrast. It noted the current cost of the program, which sits around $250 to $300 per semester. It then asked students what they would actually be willing to pay for the experience. The answers were striking. Students indicated they were willing to pay $400 to over $500 per semester. This clearly demonstrates that the students feel they are receiving a value that vastly exceeds what they are currently paying out of pocket.
But this perceived value goes way beyond just dollars and cents. It's perfectly summarized by this lingering quote found in the organization's resident reviews. They call Taiko a life-changing tool for lifting individuals out of depression and building social resilience. Let that sink in for a moment. That is the ultimate, priceless impact that the UTAIKO program is having on the local community. It is fundamentally changing lives for the better.
Which leaves us with a final, provocative thought to ponder. In a rural area with limited resources, what is the true worth of a space that heals bodies, minds, and community? It's a question that really highlights the indispensable power of community arts. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope exploring this feedback has inspired you to reflect on the importance of connection, rhythm, and finding your own space to thrive.